Now I'm going to take you on the 5 trials, or the steps, that I take my students on when we want to get more creative with a simple 4-chord progression. So the chord progression we're going to work with today is a G, a D, an E minor, and a C. Okay, so step number 1, we're going to take these chords and we're going to find them around the fretboard using triads, mostly. Alright, so instead of playing a G like this, I'm going to play like this. Okay, now the best way to find this shape, this triad, is if you've got the root here in the low E, then you can then play it here, alright? 3, 4, 5, this little shape. So the root, and you can play this triad. That's our G. Now I want to get to a D, I want to play a bar in each chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, alright? I'm going to choose to play my D up here to take me along the fretboard, right? And take me a bit further up the dusty end, okay? So I'm going to play the shape here. This is 7, 7, 7 from the D string, just the A shape. You know, when you count the chords up, which we've done a few times before in the channel, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D. Or you can just imagine this shape here. Just take the A part out of it, right? That's your A shape. So G, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4. Alright, now, I want to find something around this vicinity to give me my E minor, alright? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the E note here in the A string, and I'm just going to cheat a little bit. I'm going to create a little power chord, because rather than do a bar chord, which I would probably normally do in this situation, I'm going to keep it a little bit more bar chord friendly. I'm going to play this little power chord here, right? It should be 7, 9, 9. Like that. Okay, so I've got G, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, and then I'm going to play my C right here. Again, I can find that right here, very close to where my E minor is. And I'm just using the same shape as G. Again, I get my C note here, so I know that I can play. And it's connecting these dots, it's seeing the fretboard opening up, just little things like that. I see the root here, I can make this shape here, which is usually just an inversion of the big bar chord, but yeah, G, D, E minor, and C, and that gives us so much more options. The more you practice this stuff, guys, the more, well, yeah, the more that you will start to venture out your comfort zone. You'll start to get better when you stop playing the open chords all the time. Alright, you need to start venturing out, getting those fretboard boots on. Okay, now, what we want to do next, right, we want to start connecting the dots. I want to start getting from here to here in a more creative fashion. Now, you might be thinking we could play a scale, but I'm going to show you a few other different things that you can do to just so you get more stuff in your tool belt. So, step number 2 is we're going to bring in something called sixths. Now, sixths sound like this. And they're a great way of getting from one place in the fretboard to somewhere else. In this case, we're going to climb up to here. Alright, now 6, we're really just taking an interval of 6 out of the major scale. So this note and this note are 6 notes apart in the G major scale, and we can climb up that alright, using that, just using the G and the E string. So right in this case I've got 4 and 3, 5 and 5, 7, 7, and then that brings me here, and just watch this. Lovely, right? And what I did there as well is I just to take up the time, I got the chord, and you can use a pick as well, and then I stab, I slide, just from the top E string anywhere, like that. So. Now if you're using a pick to play this, you can just mute it, mute the middle string, or mute the B string with your middle finger, and slide, or you can just pinch it with your fingers like that. Now, this brings me on quickly to step number 3, where we're going to use the pentatonic scale. Now, when you're playing rhythm and lead, it's okay to use the scale associated just with the chord that you're playing. Alright, so even though we're playing in the key of G, when I've got this D shape here, I'm just thinking with this shape, alright, when I'm playing this shape, I'll always have pattern 1 pentatonic. In this case, it would be pattern 1 of D major pentatonic on my doorstep, which means I can do this little lick. Alright, which means anytime I play this shape, if I'm playing A, C, right, it's all the same thing, right? That's why you build muscle memory with these little licks, and every time you play this shape, you can go right into it, alright? So anyways, we've got this little lick I'm going to do here, 9 up to 11, middle finger on 10, back down again to 7, and then to 9 on a D. Okay, right, and then it brings me on to my E here, power chord, and we're quickly on to step number 4. We're going through really fast here. We've got an arpeggio for step number 4. Now, a cool thing to when you've got the root, right? Here now, to make a major arpeggio, or just get the notes in a major chord, you'd go root, 3rd, 5th. That's an arpeggio for a major chord. That'd be an E, alright? So it'd have 7, 6, 5, like that. But a minor chord, the only difference is we flatten the 3rd, so it'd have 7, 5, 9, alright? So 7, 6, 9, I don't know if I said that the first time, that's to get a major. You just flatten the 3rd. For a minor, that means I can get those notes and target the E minor chord. Could do this, 7, 5, 7 slide up to 9, back again to 7, then 5, and then slide up to my C. So I've done a little arpeggio there. Take me into my next chord, okay? Just figuring out different, more creative ways to join the dots. So far I've got this. Alright. We're on to the last one. So the final step, and probably my most favourite thing to do with chords, is to play double stops. They just sound beefy and cool and Hendrixy, and I love them. Alright, so, and again, this is all relative to the shape that you're playing. So I think when I've got this shape here, okay, just as if I had it here, I can play this little double stop. Alright, which is a very Hendrixy type of move. Alright, and again, you'll always be able to do this shape. So if I've got this shape here, I'm then going to go in the 8th fret, I'm then going to take my finger on the 7th fret and make this little shape here. I've got 7 and 8. Alright, on the G and B, and I'm going to hammer on. I'm going to pinch both, I'm going to hammer on to 9, from 7 to 9 on the G string. Off again, and then the root here, the C note, on the D string, on the 10th fret. I'm going to pinch, hammer on, off again, root, again. And again, if I play this chord, everywhere you play it, you'll be able to do that. So the more moves you build up, then the more stuff that you'll have when you're just playing off the cuff, and you'll be able to do this stuff without thinking about it. Okay, so far we've got this. You know, guys, connecting the dots doesn't just happen. You don't just learn it all at once. You work with one at a time, and eventually you reach that point where you can just play freely without thinking too much about it. Now, if like Rupert, you want a step-by-step plan for your fretboard boots, then you can apply in the description and we'll get going. Thanks for watching.